So let me introduce our first speaker for tonight. So it's I'm going to introduce this man, and his name is called Kupakwashe Desmond Mukurumbirwa. I mean, and now when I met him, that's all there was. And now there's just so much. So who is he? He is a global sports business leader, a sports entrepreneurship coach, a speaker, a founder of Dominion Sport, a sport entrepreneurship and education company that trains sport business leaders and entrepreneurs and sport business professionals how to monetize sports ideas. His purpose and passion is to develop the next generation of African sport entrepreneurs and the sports business leaders. He's the chairman and founder of the Football Fortune Group, a football investment company that specializes in structuring deals for acquisition of football clubs in Europe, Middle East, and Australia. He is a co-founder of the Sports Millionaires Network, an organization that trains professional athletes on how to create wealth during and after professional careers. He's also an associate partner of Quantra Sport, a global sport for development consultancy. He's also the current general manager for Tennis Zimbabwe. He's not a small man. So recently, Kupakwashe was recently appointed the international sports consultant by the Council of Europe, where he advises member countries, ministers of sports and leaders on sports organizations, on safe sport. He serves as an advisory board for the UNICEF, United Kingdom Initiative on Safeguarding Children in Sport. He's an advisory board member of the Safe Sports International and Safe Sports Africa. He's a member of FIFA Safeguarding Review Panel. He serves as an advisor for the IOC Safe Sports Unit. Kupa is an alumni of the Mandela Washington Fellowship of Young African Leaders and part of the Michael Jackson Leaders Network. Kupa is a writer, a contributor of several sport websites, blogs, including the Sports Development Org, one of the biggest global sports development websites, the Sport Integrity Global Alliance, Extra Time leading football website. He has contributed a lot of things. Kupa is set on various local organization, committee, regional, continental, international sports events, including the 2010 FIFA World Cup, Rugby World Cup, Under-20 World Cup, ICC World Cup, the Shine Tour, the African Union Sports Council Region 5 Games, and is happily married to his wife and has got one child. Come on, people, put your hands together to one of my mentees, Mr. Kupakwashe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can I have some energy? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so my name is Kupakwashe, like was indicated, and I'm a proud Dr. S.M. Chirisa mentee. When I met Dr. S.M. Chirisa, like he rightfully indicated, when you would introduce me, you would just say, this is Kupakwashe Mkurumbira, a sports development officer, full stop. It was 6 words. Now is a different story. So allow me to share with you the journey that I walked with Dr. S.M. Chirisa when we decided that he would be my mentor in 2016. So they always say, when a student is ready, a teacher will appear. They also say when someone is very hungry for success, a mentor will always appear. So when you really become hungry for success, the right person will always pop up. And for me, that right person was Dr. S.M. Chirisa. So he shared principles with me that transformed my life, which I believe are going to inspire you. Some of the places that I've been in the last 6 years have been amazing because I was taught principles of success by Dr. S.M. Chirisa. So the first key principle that I learned from Dr. S.M. Chirisa is, as an individual, if you're going to succeed, is you have to plan. So it sounds obvious, but Dr. S.M. Chirisa gave me his time planner and time management planner, and he asked me one question. He said, do you have a life plan? That was our first meeting. I didn't have a life plan then. He then said to me, design a 10-year plan. When you design that 10-year plan, I will look at it and we'll work through it. We'll work through the 10-year plan, and I can assure you, 80% of the things that you heard him say, we achieved from that life plan. So I've become a global sport leader because of a 10-year plan that we sat down and designed in 2016. So in the Council of Europe, ladies and gentlemen, I speak to presidents, not African presidents, by the way, European ones. I speak to ministers. I speak to leaders of almost all the top organizations that you can think of in sport currently. Your Manchester United, your Real Madrid, the list is endless. But when I met him, I was broke. I didn't have any of that. So he said you should plan. When opportunities come, you should have prepared for those opportunities. Okay? Then from there, he said, number 2, develop a profile. Who exactly do you want to be? Okay? So like I indicated, when I was asked, who are you? I said, I'm Kupakwashe. I'm a sports development officer. Full stop. He said, you need to create a vision for who you are, the impact that you want to make, the influence that you want to make within your industry in such a way that if people are going to speak or listen to you, they'll say, this is the right guy. So the first time I heard Dr. S.M. Chirisa's profile being spoken of, I said to myself, wow. I also said to myself, one day, I think they should describe me like that in sport. I didn't know that within the first 3 years or 4 years of working on the plan that we worked on, my life would suddenly change and my profile would start attracting global individuals. So recently, one of the biggest embassies in the country asked for my profile to attend a particular event, Doc. When they then read my profile, they said, okay, you can't come to this particular event because your profile is not a CV. Your profile is for an individual that we want to partner with. So we are going to create another event where you become a partner to what we are trying to do. Or because of a profile that I was taught by a mentor that you should develop a profile, become an individual who's known, liked, trusted, and who is an influencer within your particular industry. So I did that, and up to now, I'm still shocked at some of the opportunities that come to me on a daily basis. So from the month of May almost up to until July, I am fully booked, Doc, to travel not just locally, but to travel to different parts of Europe, the Middle East, Asia. The list is endless. Why? Because I chose to listen to the wisdom of a mentor. Develop a profile. Ask the person next to you, do you have a profile? Can anyone trust you with opportunities just by knowing who you are? If the answer is no, it means you have homework. You need to go and develop one. Then, from meeting Dr. S.M. Chirisa, the other key principle that he taught me is, at the end of the day, you want to make money. He said, the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself is to develop yourself. Okay? He said to me, personal development will make you wealth. A degree will get you a good job. So from the time that I've met Dr. S.M. Chirisa up to now, I've read over 480 books. I've listened to 160 trainings around leadership, communication, marketing, sales, the things that he has told me, these are the things that drive business success and leadership. Not only have I done that, but he said to me the first time we met, if you're going to become successful, you need to save up money and make sure that you invest in travel. Go see the best people that are doing what you want to do. Learn from them, and as you learn from them, you will become successful. So over the last 6 years, I've invested over 10,000 in my travel and in attending conferences, attending key organizations, attending and seeing key organizations that can transform my life. So I'm now so addicted to personal development that if you ask me, what's the first thing that you do when you wake up is I work on myself more than anything else. So I'm so addicted to personal development. So recently I just finished doing a course with an Australian institution on sport diplomacy. So you would rarely find anyone in Africa who says I've studied sport diplomacy. They actually say to me when I did that, you are probably the first that we have had in the last 10 years. But I'm doing that because I know the power of personal development, which I was taught by my mentor. And then the other key principle that I learned from Dr. S.M. Chirisa is at the end of the day, you want to make money. But for you to make money, you need to have products. So the first time I met him, he asked me to do a business plan. I shaped a business plan. I gave it to him. We worked on the business plan. My first product was a training program. We ran the training, but I realized, okay, there has to be more to it. I then developed more products. And as I developed more products, man, I've been making good money. So one of the products that I currently offer, Doc, is a sport consultancy product. So can you imagine, I charge people $400 to speak to me for an hour. And they have to come and see me more than 6 times. And they pay $400 every time. And roughly each year I have more than 200 people. And please don't tell me there is no money. So when you say sport, typically people will say, sports in Africa, can anyone really make money out of it? Take it from me, there's a lot of money in sport. And I'm enjoying that. And it's because I learned principles of how to develop products from Dr. S.M. Chirisa. Then outside that, he also taught me, you have to master the art of pitching business ideas. So I remember it was at Alex Sports Club when the group was still smaller than this, and we were taught you have to master how to pitch. What is pitching? Your ability to communicate value in a captivating way, in a commercial way, so that you can access other people's money to implement your ideas. So the day that I was taught pitching, I was so fortunate that the following week, there was an opportunity for us to go and pitch our business to, it was a Google-funded initiative. We went, we pitched, and when we pitched, for the first time in my life, I was given $10,000 for speaking for 3 minutes, Doc. It was shocking for me because I'd worked for 6 years. And all the money that I'd worked for 6 years was not equivalent to the money that I got in speaking for 3 minutes. So he emphasized to us that for you to get money, you need to master the art of pitching. I've gone on to pitch more than 80 times, different platforms, and raised over 550,000 US, not for myself, but for different organizations, different projects that I've worked around. Simply because the mentor taught me, you have to be able to pitch and communicate your ideas. And then lastly, one of the most treasured principles that I got from Dr. S.M. Chirisa was, you need to publish what you're doing. They say if you don't know how to tell your story, most of the times, no matter how good you are, you will probably remain poor. But those that tell the story most of the times are the ones that are going to make money. So he said to me, you should be able to write within your domain, which is obviously sport. And when I started writing, the first time I write mostly on LinkedIn. He had advised me that I should look for a newspaper to write on, but somehow I didn't get connections there. And then when I started writing on LinkedIn, there are individuals that again started following and who I started getting opportunities from basically because I was writing. So like he indicated from my profile, I'm currently one of the leading writers in a particular niche in sport, and because I write a lot, I'm considered an authority in that particular field, not in Zimbabwe, but in the entire world. So whenever anyone in that particular niche wants to do anything, one of the few people that they will think of, one of the few people that they would want to talk to is me. So last year, I was invited to France to the European Council. So the European Council is the European Union, and amalgamation of all the European states. So I had to walk in a parliament, speak to individuals who, in my wildest dreams, I would have never imagined I would speak to. Why? Because they respect who I am as an individual, because I publish most of my work, and they always say, we read what you write, and what you write makes sense. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, you probably are saying to yourself, okay, does this thing work? Does the thing that are the things that this guy teaching us work? I'm evidence of that. It truly works. When I met him, I was broke. I literally had a degree, was struggling, learned key principles, used the principles in the last 6 years. And now, I'm a recognized global sports leader. So for those who are looking for a right mentor, he is the right guy. Those that are looking for wisdom, I highly recommend, especially those that want to do one-on-ones. I think one-on-ones worked for me because we were not as many as this then. So it worked for me, it was personal. If he says there's a paid mentorship opportunities, please go, learn, because he is a wise mentor and he has changed my life. I thank you.
Come on, put your hands together for Kupa. Some of you need to be applying for jobs. It's the GM for Tennis Zimbabwe. And it's good because we are raising leaders. Now, just a few questions, that I want to ask him, if it's okay. How old are you, Kupa?
I'm 35.
35. I know some of you are saying, he must be 50. He's 35. Huh? Isn't it?
By the way, they always laugh when I'm in Europe that, okay, how they ask that a lot. Say you are young. How did you, almost everywhere where I do my trainings, they ask, how old are you? I tell them I'm 35. They always ask, why have you achieved what you achieved when you're young? I always tell them I found a good mentor. So I'm not ashamed to say that. I say that when I'm in Europe, if I'm training people locally, I tell people, look, I found a good mentor. And my rate of success was faster because I learned from his mistakes, from the things that he probably failed in. He would say, no, do this, do this, do this, do this. So I moved at a faster pace than how many normal people would move fast.
All right. I just wanted you to just know his age. He's a young man. He's very young. Thanks again. Come on, put your hands together for him. We will have...